And hello and welcome once again to Toy Soldiers Old School. This is episode 73. We're going to tentatively call it The Heroes and the Crown Part 2. My name is Diane Morrison. I'm known in the community as Sablerodia. I am the game master for this game, if I can ever get my camera to work. And when I am not game mastering, I play Celine Wintermist, Commodore Celine Wintermist. She is an idealistic young priestess who joined the Avalonian Imperial Navy in order to see the universe and maybe help some people out along the way. Unfortunately, we are now at war, and things are very complicated. My and her pronouns are she or they, and we'll move to my left and go to Rowan.
Hi, I'm Rowan. I play Von Vin Starsong. She's our party druid and one of the Imperial princesses. She joined the Avalonian Imperial Navy, not knowing she was one, and moved on to Marines and discovered she had sisters and family, and gained a boyfriend, stabbed some slavers. And it's been all sorts of fun and interesting life as a bug-suited Marine, where she can lock down a small ship deck like there is no tomorrow. Her pronouns are she, her, and so are mine.
Awesome. And we'll move to my right, and we'll go to Siobhan.
Hello, I'm Siobhan the writer. I will be playing Captain, don't call me Lilas, Madrimalan, who is an altruistic elf who joined the Avalonian Imperial Navy out of family obligations. Has transferred over to the Marines for the Mac Esau group, and has been given command of his own little Black Ops unit. My pronouns are she, her. My Dromlians are he, they.
Awesome, and we'll go to Blake.
Hi, I'm Blake. I'll be playing the part of Crowley, a Pheenock, a feline-like race of my own creation. Him, along with Yasma and the rest of the crew, have been through some shit, through some adventures. Currently, he's curious to see what's going to go down next. Our pronouns are he, him.
Awesome. And Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn. I play Lieutenant Yasma Snowwind. I was an orphan, decided to join the Navy on a whim with Crowley. And since then, I found out I'm not an orphan. I found my dad and my sisters, and I'm a princess and an heiress to the throne. So crazy. And our pronouns are she, her.
Great. And we'll go to Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I play Arian. He is the original Marine of the group, all the rest of the people being ex-Navy or back to the Navy or whatever they're doing now. He's been promoted to Major and placed in command of the Marines in the Talasian system, working closely with Commodore Wintermist to try to defend this star system. And found out he's Duke, is dating the heir to the Imperial Crown, and is trying to do the best he can at all these. So, and our pronouns are he, him.
Awesome. Yeah, Arian really is kind of going, what the fuck now, isn't he? All right, let's move over to Taz.
Hi, my name is Taz, also known as GMano99 on the internet. I play Ardent Spellsword, a Megas Kensai crafter, pronouns are he, him.
All right, and last but not least, Aaron. Who's muted? Or something.
Yeah, I just couldn't get my phone to unmute. My name's Aaron, known online as Aaron Ree, which is pronounced exactly as it sounds, R-I-G-H. Spelled exactly as it sounds. I play the part of Ruavel Sunfall, a bit of a Pratt nobleman who is learning his way into being a officer in the Marine Corps. Right. Our pronouns are he, they.
Awesome. All right. We do something a little different on this channel. We have what we call our chat crew. These are folks who have used a channel point reward, which is not currently active, called I Wanna Play. And they play important NPCs, as it were, who tend to have an effect on the plot. There are several of them who have reported for duty, which is awesome. And yeah, we're ready to get into this, I think. So, and thank you for the contribution to the reading challenge, Siobhan. For those of you who may not be aware and are just tuning into the channel, I am reading the novel A Few Good Elves, which is the first book in the Toy Soldier Saga. It takes place in this universe in the second Interstellar War, not the first. You will recognize some of the characters here in the novel. And yeah, I've been reading it aloud as a community challenge, and we're working towards part 4 now. So if you'd like to, hear me continue, then, consider throwing in some channel points. All right, well, there was a lot going on. Most of it, however, was more political or event-based than it was military at this point. So I think let's have Von Vin's analysis of the situation. Oh,
there we go. It helps if I unmute.
It does help.
All right. The political analysis is that everybody wants a piece of the new king, or the king to be, and they are rushing his nuptials and coronation all in one as quickly as possible. But in the meantime, a plot has been discovered.
Redacted.
not going to get home quick. That's great.
Assassins have been captured and are being detained pending questioning and the subsequent finding of their allies and potentially the person who paid for them, who is probably not who it immediately appears to be.
Yes.
But it could also be yet. Was it the Golden Bows or wasn't it the Golden Bows? Is it a disguised person trying to use them as patsies? Or were they really behind it? Is the young Golden Bow an innocent dupe? Tune in this week to find out these answers and more.
And this episode will be redacted.
That's great. Awesome. That's brilliant. Okay, well. Yep, Madrimlian has the authority to do that now. So, that's pretty awesome. Okay, as I recall, the significant salient points was that basically the magical equivalent of a bombing attempt happened. Various fighters and assassins, including a couple of minotaurs and whatnot, and a dark elf, were transformed into roses and snuck into the bouquets. They were discovered thanks to the quick thinking of, I believe that was Nimmelin again, going along and detecting magic. And they were isolated and transformed and dealt with. They are all sitting in jail cells at the moment, having been interrogated.
Save for the person that was killed.
Save for the one that was killed, yep. Crowley took the form of one of the assassins and has gone among the guests to see what will happen and see if he can flush them out. In the meantime, I believe the rest of the party was contemplating whether or not they were going to bring in the Golden Bows for questioning and protective custody. Am I correct on this? That's where we were?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, let's turn off the starfaring noises and let's put on some
Cantina?
No, but let's put on some fancy dancy, rich people music. Or at least people getting ready for the party. No music yet. Yes, it was Nimmelin. Also, this week we find out how many carnivorous roses Von Vin gets gifted as a wedding gift. Yep, I can see that. All right. So then, first of all, are you going to round up the Golden Bows? We had not decided that at this point.
I believe we had left that in the hands of Major Goldenbow.
Oh yeah, his family.
Did we, or did we decide that that would be a little bit awkward and indiscreet? Because I believe that was up for discussion as well.
Well, if he's calling them in, right, it's a family meeting. So there's no...
Okay. Celine says this. Okay. I think it would be a good idea to see if we can get them all in one room, but I also think it would be a good idea if nobody knows we did. Do we have enough magical resources at our disposal? And if we don't, I don't know. But she says that we can have someone else stand in their place, taking their forms while we're talking to them.
Yes, says Selnar.
Then let's do that, she says. How do we go about this, Daddy?
He says, I have to contact a couple of friends.
Okay.
Take me about 20 minutes.
Okay. In the meantime, we shall stall, she says. Okay, checking out the chat crew.
How many are you questioning at one time? He says.
How quickly can we go through it without causing a big stir, she says.
I don't know.
Ideally, I'd think it would be best if we could have them all in one room so we can watch how they react to each other, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of golden baths, so how many do we think are realistic?
6.
Okay.
Meantime, says Von Vin, I am certain that the bride can have some gown malfunction problems.
I think that's a great idea. Let's have that happen. I'll go stall, she says.
And it won't be a hard sell, she says, because this is all rather rushed and short notice.
It's true, she says. Yeah, she goes out and, makes like quickly calling in Arian's grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
Arian's grandmother comes in and says, "What's the matter, dear?" And she like closes the door and then she tells her actually what's going on, right? We're trying to flush out people in the conspiracy here. We need 20 minutes. She says, "We figure the bride has had a gown malfunction. Do you think you can cover for us?" Right? She says, "Darling, if I can't do that, then I don't deserve this coronet," she says. "I'll be right back."
Thank you.
"Of course, Your Highness," she says, and she heads out. And she like makes like whispering at girls, and she's like, "We need a seamstress, and we need," making like she's whispering but not,
Mm-hmm.
making sure somebody can overhear. Yeah.
Oh, stage whispers. Got it.
In the meantime, the girls will manufacture a gown malfunction.
Yep.
Rip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Duly noted from Oleander. I got the message from the Sergeant Major, the bosun, and okay. Nobody's had a chance to write up a report yet, but I'll keep in mind that was your intention. Daz pulls out a hidden bottle from the unicorn coat. The uniform coat. We need unicorn coats. I need a unicorn coat. Okay, or a dragon coat. Either one would be great.
It's one of those hoodie half jackets, right? That look very, Assassin's Creedy, and the hood has like a horn on it.
Yeah. I think that would be like awesome. I would like one of those. That would be great. Okay.
Yeah, I want one too.
No doubt. Okay. Hidden bottle. I don't know what that's a hidden bottle of, Daz.
Alcohol.
Okay. Right, because you're whipping up more more. Yeah, more whipped cream with alcohol in it. Whose phone is on? I will eat you.
It is Siobhan's Discord, and it is Sparkles. Spank him later.
I will shoot him. I will shoot him. Okay. All right. Awesome. Eli has a unicorn onesie. That is cool. All right. Yes. So, we stall and wait the 20 minutes, unless the conspirators that you were running their errand do anything in that time.
No.
Nobody approaches Crowley, who's wandering
Nope.
around. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. About 20 minutes later, Selmar calls the girls into an office.
All right.
There's a couple of people in there. One you recognize, Oolong.
Ah, Your Highness, she
Alright.
says.
Your Highness.
Your Highness,
Says
he
Von
says
Vin.
in return.
This is Oolong's good friend, my good friend Tokama. Says introducing a rather attractive human individual.
How do you do, she says.
Not bad. He says, how are you?
I've had better days, she says. But I'm
Yeah, so
hanging
we
in
hear.
there, she says.
Right, and this is Tokama's daughter, Jordan, the cute little human girl.
Pleased to
Both.
meet you.
Pleased to meet you as well.
Haven't we met Tokama before?
Yeah, you recognize him from the Black Dragon Bar.
That's right.
All right.
I understand you have a problem with assassins, says Oolong.
Quite, says Von Vin. Apparently they don't like Star Elven Nunnehi princesses.
Who does? Tokama. I'm kidding.
Apparently Xerxes, because he's marrying me.
Okay. Point taken.
He says, and I understand we have to stand in for some people. We'll need an opportunity to study them for a few minutes before we know whom we will be replacing.
We got a couple of our companions with us. They're already moving through the crowd and getting information.
Thank you, she says. I appreciate all the assistance. She
Right,
says,
we have at least one friend posing as one of the assassins already.
Yeah, we know.
not bad, he says.
Yeah, pretty good, actually.
Bold, has initiative. I approve, says Oolong. Yeah. The conversation's great.
Yeah.
Jordan says to Von Ven, I'm here to act as a body double for you.
Okay.
Alright, if somebody's going to attempt an assassination attempt, I'm much better equipped to deal with it than you are, she says.
Jordan is a professional, says Oolong.
Yes.
I will take your word for it, says Von Vin.
And I'm a doppelganger, she says.
All right. Then I am sure you are excellent at it.
What can we do to be of help, says Celine.
Just act natural.
Okay.
You know, pretend I'm her.
No problem, she says.
She says, the plan is that I'm going to mingle with the crowd before the wedding, right? Like the bride would, she says, and see if anybody makes an attempt, right? At the actual wedding, of course, you'll be standing for yourself, she says. I wouldn't take that away from you.
Thank you.
She says, and the coronation, of course, you have to do it personally.
Yes.
Right? She says, but in the meantime, let's see if we can draw anybody out.
Okay.
Yes. Right. You'll need my dress.
No, I don't.
Okay.
She looks you up and down and shifts and looks exactly like you. Right down to the dress and
Awesome.
That's a bit disturbing, says Celine. Okay.
That actually is pretty impressive.
Jordan knows what she's
She
doing.
said,
Suzulong.
yeah.
I've seen almost 1,000-year-old druids that aren't as good at transformations.
She is a
I've seen
doppelganger.
1,000-year-old mages that aren't as good at transformations as
Yeah, they all
Some
look at
will.
Selnar with this, the way only buddies can look at a buddy like you're a dork,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Celine starts laughing at that look because she's absolutely not used to anybody looking at her dad like that. Usually he's like, yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, your highness. You know?
exactly.
Oh, you clearly are old friends, aren't you? She says.
Oh yeah. These are my oldest friends.
Very old, says Oolong. Older than I
Yes.
care to admit, he says. Well then, old man, let's see what we can do, he says.
Yeah, shall we? He says,
Who are you pulling aside first?
you let us know who's pulling aside first and we'll replace them. We can get about 6 at a time.
Okay, she says. Who are our top suspects among the Golden Bows?
Numalor.
That could be just personal bias, but yes. He was implicated in a smuggling scheme, after all.
That we did bust open.
And his father. Oolong's nodding. Yeah, I don't know, I haven't made up all the Golden Bows, but they'll name a
Yeah.
few. Right? And they
Including the
nod.
kid?
Mhm.
Including which? Oh, the little kid. I don't think he has anything to do with it, but maybe he has seen something, she says.
Nothing else for his own safety, says Von Vin.
Yeah.
Of course, says Oolong.
How old is he?
About 40.
No, he's not that young
Yeah.
because about 10 maybe, right?
Equivalent?
I thought he was in our age category.
Yeah, I thought this was Blackjack, right? Blackjack
Yeah.
cannot be in our age category. Blackjack would
No.
be not much older than Shandar and Yathar in Book 2, which is actually like 300 years from now. So he could be like a little kid now, and that would make sense,
Yeah.
right? But if there's a golden bow in your age category, that is Numalor.
Yeah.
Regardless of what was said the other week. Right?
Gotcha.
This is world DM stuff going, no, that's not going to work. Yeah.
Yep. So obviously it was Numalor that did the purchasing.
Was it?
The
That's one thing-
purchasing?
But that was the name we were given, I think is what she means.
Yeah.
Okay.
And description.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not sure that it was actually him and not somebody else trying to use him as a patsy.
Right.
He's so good at.
He's not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Celine smirked at that, which I assume was a Ruvel comment.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but he does act like a club.
It's hilarious. Doppelgangers invented the idea of Among Us since ancient history. Yep.
Yep.
Easy, just have Quill become the child's best friend and learn all his secrets. Ooh. Okay, so you guys, they spread out, and as various people are called aside, they're replaced
They
by
are
versions
replaced.
of themselves. You guys, well, Jordan and Celine, and I assume Yasma, go among the guests, right? Where Jordan is as wonderfully gracious as Von Vin usually is. She went to finishing school too.
That's right. That's where you learn to say that's nice instead of fuck you.
That's right. And Celine acts overprotective, kind of thing, like tasting things when they're handed to her and, shit like that, right?
Yep.
Good question, Daz.
Can my glass of detect magic notice shape changes? You would
No,
notice
it
alteration
depends.
magic, possibly. Okay. So you start pulling the, you guys start pulling some of the golden boughs aside. Celine will allow Yasma to take her place hanging out with Von Vin and come back in for the interrogation unless Arian wants to do that. Not that it's an interrogation, but it is, right?
Okay.
Unless Arian like I said, who wants to handle it, guys? It would be much easier if I'm not role-playing myself talking to myself. So.
Well, only the sisters were pulled in on this, right? Arian doesn't know what's going on.
Ariane was pulled in on it.
Okay.
And
Yep.
so was Crowley.
Who out of us knows the golden bells the best?
Celine.
But Ruavel knows them just as well, right?
Yeah, Celine, Ruavel, and Madrimlian, and they'll probably talk to Ruavel, actually, more than they'll talk to either of the she-elves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Noonie would be right out, so.
Yeah.
All right, so anyway, the first group is pulled aside, right? Why has his name escaped me?
Navarre?
Navarre, thank you. Navarre kind of folds his arms and he says, all right, we're going to lay this on the line, he says. Our family has been implicated in a possible assassination attempt against their majesties, and I need to know everything you know, he says. Numenor immediately starts sputtering. What? Not on your life, he says. Of course we'd have nothing to do with it. Who is implicating us? He says.
Sound pretty Protestant for a guy who's innocent.
He says, we've never gotten on well, he says to Ruavel. He says, that concerns me, given the gravity of the charges, he says. You don't really think we did it, did you? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I have nothing against you personally. He says, I don't know. I know you were implicated.
All right, he says. Does he know anything, by the way?
The Lord, no.
No. He says, how were we implicated?
He says, somebody who was disguised as you hired the assassins. They fingered you.
I see, he says.
I'll be honest with you, no more. I don't think you did it.
No, I don't think you're that stupid. Does your family have any
Von Vin
enemies? Do you
just
personally have
nods.
enemies?
Exactly.
Thank
But if
you,
there
I
is
think,
somebody,
he says.
well, it's a fact. He says we don't get along, but I don't think that you're evil. He says that's
Von
just the
Vin
way.
looks at him and says, I thought somebody was probably trying to set you up. But this tells me something, she says. Whoever it is doesn't like the idea of a Star Elven princess whose mother was a Nanahi, she says, marrying the king. And 2, they don't like you.
Good point, he says. Do we know of any mutual enemies we might have made, he says. He says, look, I'll be perfectly frank with you and feel free to use whatever magic or other capabilities you have at your disposal to discern the truth of it. I have nothing to do with this, he says. Furthermore, I would have nothing to do with it, especially not now. Even if I had any desire to commit such a heinous crime against our crown, he says. Whether I liked you or not is not relevant, he says. Our people are threatened, he says. We don't have time for this nonsense. Even if I cared to do such a thing. Even if I had that in me, he says.
I believe you, Numenor.
Thank you, he says. But then you're right, we must have a
Numenor
mutual
spoke for
enemy.
you.
Well, I can think of one possible
Thank you,
mutual
he
enemy.
says to him.
Since you're also implicated in the smuggling ring of the slave diamonds. When we first started our careers.
He says, there was a lot of trouble with that off scene, out of sight, as it were, he says. Did he actually have anything to do with that, by the way? That was your
No.
plot, too? He
Yeah.
says, I had nothing to do with that either, he says.
Interesting. So, what we have is somebody who doesn't like the Golden Bough name because they also implicated your father in that business, and you personally, but knows things well enough that there could be reason for us to believe that you might be behind such a thing. So there's somebody that knows about stuff.
Too bad your mom's not here, Celine.
Yeah, I know.
This is starting to
she
point
says.
back to her ship, to the Arianrod's Pride.
I think you're right, she says. This clearly must have been somebody who's one of the Arianrod's Pride crew. I can't imagine who else would have had all of this information in order to be able to make these connections and build this up, she says.
Unless, of course, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. No, there's no way. We've picked up a few strays along the way.
Yeah, but none of
they
them
don't know
were
our
there.
history with Numenor.
And none of them were there in the Arianrod's Pride, she says. They don't have the smuggling information.
We never talked about it.
All right, let's compare lists to who could be current enough to know about the wedding and to plan an assassination at it and the king's death, but also has connections aboard the Arianrod's Pride. What do we got on hand that meets those criteria? we got a list of the crew?
As of their most recent, it won't be quite up to date, but it should be reasonably up to date. She, I don't know, goes out, finds an aide, sends them for, files.
Deployment records.
Yeah, on the Aryan Rod's Pride. What we need is the crew list, right? Do we have any reason to think that any other
Yeah.
members of your family might be involved in this, Numalor? He says, of course I don't. He says, but you're right, somebody obviously knows more information than they should, he says.
Yeah, and Magellan is watching the other 5 Golden Vows for reactions.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I was thinking. Mostly their reaction is outrage. Right. They're letting Numalor do the talking because he's articulate. But they're all like pissed that somebody would accuse them.
Magellan has an idea.
Yeah, Golden Bells.
All 6 of you are outraged at this idea. That doesn't mean there isn't a branch of the family that might be involved.
I hesitate to think it, says Numalor, but there are a lot of us.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying I don't like this implication.
I'm not even sure that it was necessarily the work of one individual. It could be a number of individuals who are colluding. The amount that they paid was outrageous. A small fortune by anyone's, a large fortune by anyone's standards.
Celine says it is possible we're making assumptions here. The Golden Bows are very important to the Talesian crown.
They are. The Golden Bows are a prominent family, and I would hate to see their name dragged through the mud because of this.
It may just be that the attack on them is an attempt to destabilize the realm. Maybe it has nothing to do with you or I or Numalor or the Golden Bows at all, she says.
A Fomorian plot, perhaps?
Maybe, she says, maybe so.
I mean, the assassins were hired out of Phoenix Rock.
Which means it could have been anyone, she says. Absolutely anyone.
But they did go out of their way to implicate the Golden Bows.
Well, we do have our enemies.
And they had to have known you well enough to be able to have somebody pose to at least nominally look like Numalor.
Which is what's bringing me back to the smuggling ring.
Maybe.
Okay, says Celine. We actually, I know what we need to do, but we're not going to have time to do it right now before the wedding. What we need to do is we need to run the crew roster of the Aryan Rod's Pride against today's wedding guests, against the people who were stationed on Aryan Rod itself at the time, she says, and look for commonalities. And then we have to track them down, she says.
Yep, says Vonvin. And I don't think we're going to get to do that, which means somebody's going to get a chance to take another shot at me if they don't take a shot at other me.
Oh, the Xerxes, let's hope they take a shot at Jordan.
I am pretty confident in that young lady's talents and abilities, says Von Vin. So, yes, let's do hope, although I wish her no harm.
No, of course not.
Okay.
I think we've gone as far as we can on this.
I agree, says Celine. I'm terribly sorry, everyone, she says. No, quite understandable, says Numalor. You had to ask.
We just did
Would
our very best to make it as discreet as possible. We didn't want to,
We are not interested in dragging the Golden Bough name through the mud, says Celine. You have been replaced by temporary body doubles. They will disappear when you return. She says, nobody will have noticed you're gone if they've done their job right, and I have every faith they will. She says. I appreciate that. Thank you, says Numalor.
Solar says, if you guys see anything suspicious,
Of course, we will let you know right away, he says.
It's
Does he realize that this is the Emperor, by the way?
the Crown Prince.
The Crown Prince? Yeah.
Yes.
He bows and he says, of course, Your Imperial Highness, we will let you know right away, he says. We won't hesitate. At least I won't, he says.
may
Good, then
I?
I'm going to let you in on something then, Numalor. Von Vin is my daughter.
Oh dear, he says. I see, he says.
Yes.
This is the highest treason that could be. Treason.
Yes.
My
She's not the
goodness.
heir to the throne, but she is my daughter.
Understood. Understood, Your Imperial Highness, he says.
And that information doesn't go past you.
He says, I am a loyal subject of the Crown of Avalon, Your Royal Highness.
I believe
he
it.
says. I will defend her with my life, he says.
well, hopefully
Thank
it
you.
won't come to that, she says.
Hopefully it won't come to that.
And may I mind link with you gentlemen? It makes getting information back a lot quicker.
I wondered if you... But you know what? He says, I volunteer. He says, yes, you... Yes, Lilas, you may mind link with me, he says. I'm sorry. Yes, sir. You may, of course, mind link with me, he says. You outrank me now. I apologize for my rudeness. This is... Forgive me, he
We're
says.
off duty.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're wearing the other hats at the moment, which doesn't make it much better, she says, but
He does laugh a little bit.
she says, but we put our pants on like every other elf, one leg at a time.
So she says, yep, first the left legs, then the right.
I'm doing it backwards.
Yes, the tentacles go in after, says Celine.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry about this. Thank you for your help and your cooperation, she says. Let's try to get through this as smoothly as we can.
So whichever ways till you get permission from all of them.
I don't know if they're all going to give you permission. Some of them don't answer to you.
That's
Do
why
they
he
have to?
requested
He's
permission.
looking
He
at
didn't.
the Imperial Prince like, that is very forward, don't you think?
Yeah. Unnecessary. As long as you got Numalor, that should be fine.
Okay.
Honestly, he's the most likely to be approached. It's not like it's not.
Clearly I have been used as a dupe twice, he says.
Yes.
I obviously make a good target, he says. I look
Well,
forward to catching
your
him.
dislike of us is not unknown.
Von Bin just smiles and says, just remember, death is not a punishment, it's a release.
I think I'm inclined to agree with your highness. He says. I'm very angry about this. You're right. Whether we get along or not, he says, that's not important. He says, not when it comes to something like this, he says.
No, I've always thought you a man of duty.
I do my
Says
best, he says.
Durabel.
We
You just
disagree
need to
politically,
occasionally-
but that's different, he says.
Yes.
You just need to occasionally have a little bit of a sense of humor about things.
It's good advice, he says. I wish I could
You're-
laugh, he says.
She says, honestly, it'll make you less of a target in the long run. Just saying.
I'll do my best, your highness, he says. Okay, let's get this going, shall we? Says Celine. And people slowly come back in and are replaced by different people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The resemblance is uncanny, the mannerisms are uncanny.
Yep. These are pros.
We wait it out.
Yeah, were there any other suspicious golden bows, or is this entirely a false flag operation? Making a long story short.
Making a long story short, there are suspicious golden bows.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But you do think it's a false flag. Somebody set Numenor up.
Right. When everybody's gone, Celine says to Von Bin, yeah, I do think it could be a Fomorian plot. We knew perfectly well the goblins were in the city. Nobody pays any attention to the servants. They knew where all the secret entrances and exits were, she says.
And, says Von Bin, you know, the goblins said they'd stay out of the act of fighting. They didn't say they wouldn't sell mercenary assassin services.
Or that they wouldn't pass on information.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or sell it, as the case may be.
It doesn't feel right, though, she says. I think this is something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stinky. Like Cerberus shit.
Hydras. Cut off one head, another one appears.
No more growth.
You guys have any thoughts on this? She says, looking around.
No, just we have to be extra vigilant during the ceremonies.
Yeah.
And also, to make a long story short, now we've been at this for several minutes. Does anybody make an attempt on the other Von Vin? Or does anybody approach Crowley?
I'm getting to that in a minute.
Okay.
Crowley, can you make me a perception check?
Yes, I can.
What happened with your perception rolls from last game? Asks Eli. I don't know, because I forgot that perception rolls were made.
Right at the very end, we have perception rolls. Some to get the tenor of the room or the guests. somebody catch Crowley in his get up and realize it was Crowley.
Right.
Yeah.
Did I write down what the perception roll results were? Yes,
You
I
said you
did.
were making notes.
All right.
Whether or not, the dog stole and ate them, that's another matter.
No, that's just his off of Sable's desk.
Although she tends to prefer to eat Siobhan's stuff.
18, Aaron.
18?
Yeah.
You notice that Numalor Goldenbow trying to get Von Vin's attention.
Okay. I'm kind of sleek over in that direction.
Yeah.
Nonchalantly. Kind of mull about and overmutt that way.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go any further here, there were some perception rolls from last time. People were sensing motives on the guests, right? Nimlin rolled 23, 26, and 18. I made people make 3 general rolls, right? Aaron rolled a natural 20 for a total of 24, 10 and 10. Right? Do they have any information that would have any effect on this before whatever this is transpires?
They do recognize Crowley. That is one thing. Right? They know that it's Crowley. Right? Well, Nimlin noticed that this Numalor guy just came back from the bathroom. Don't know if that has anything to say about anything. And then went to try and get Blondin's attention.
Okay, and Aaron, right? Rolled a natural 20 for a total of 24.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed a similar thing.
Okay. And I assume the NPCs of whom we know notice this as well. Okay. Yeah, all right.
I was going to say, you even have to roll dice for them.
Yeah.
Not really, no.
They'll
We
take
know who
them.
these guys are. We know who these guys are.
Yeah, the other question is there 2 Numalors now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You can't hear
I don't know. I'm
Numalor's
in the other room.
thoughts.
You can't hear Numalor's thoughts.
No, you could, and then it's like you put on a tinfoil hat.
Except for he volunteered.
Mm-hmm.
I lost Numalor.
You lost Numalor.
I lost Numalor.
Shit. Yeah.
Send a missive to Aaron, because they don't have the mind blank. I had Numalor as a undercover. I've lost him. Find Daz and get her to look for him. And detain him. Oh, crap. All right.
Nope, yep, Aaron is wearing a tinfoil hat. That does not work. In the meantime, if Evolith is nearby, Celine grabs him and tells him to go find Numalor.
It's just at that moment that Crowley can make an initiative roll.
Okay. I'm going to use my luck. What's the reroll?
Natural 1, was it, Crowley?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. 22.
22. Crowley, you are in the vicinity of Numalor and Von Vin. You know, basically nobody has noticed you. And right, just then you hear Numalor say, "Can I talk to you for a moment, Your Highness?" And you see him pull a dagger. And you have initiative.
And I have initiative, eh?
Mm-hmm.
As I'm placing my pistol to the back of his head, I'm going to grab his wrist that has the dagger in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, I would think twice about what you're about to do.
That's about when Jordan hoofs him in the nuts.
Wham!
Wham! And he goes down.
And then the
He
place
runs back.
explodes with royal guards.
Yep. Guards fucking come from everywhere.
And the shit is, it's like one of those dog piles. And
meantime,
Jordan is hustled out of the room.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
funny thing is, that's exactly what Von would have done too.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably, I still got my pistol to his head.
Yep.
Von Vin might have just decided to lock down the whole fucking room.
Well, that's what the Royal Guard are doing. That's what I assume that fucking Evolith is doing.
Yeah, I assume.
Crowley will yell, "Guards! Grab this man. Take him into custody."
I do not feel sorry for this person at all.
Nope.
Because Jordan is a monk and she just hooked this guy in the nuts.
Yep. He's not getting up.
A testicle probably blew up, to be honest.
Yep.
Not even kidding.
Blew a testicle.
In the meantime, where is the real Numalor?
Okay, you guys search around. You find him in the John. Right? Unconscious with a tinfoil hat on his head.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Celine drags him out of the John. Takes the tinfoil hat off. Casts heal on him.
Yeah.
Are you okay? She says to him.
There's assassins in the castle, he says.
How long ago did you... Well, tell me what you remember, she says.
I come to relieve myself and somebody who looked like me attacked me.
Was this before or after our conversation?
After.
Okay, good. She says, "Come with me. You're going to stay right by my side now," she says.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and she actually does head out to the gathering with Numalor.
Yeah, he stumbles out. He's been drugged, so he's a little hazy.
Yeah,
Madrilino's off from his shoulder.
Yeah. Do I have neutralized poison? Yeah, I do. But I might need that for my sister later.
Arian's right behind with both swords loosened in the sheath.
Yeah.
So what does the dagger look like that Buddy dropped when he hit the ground?
The stiletto. You know, slip between the ribs type stiletto with a hollow blade.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'll delicately pick that up.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the guards to take this man to his cell.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to go and find Celine and tell her what's happened.
Yeah, you probably run into her
Okay.
right at that moment while she's got,
Yeah, but
you know.
right then when she comes in the room with Numalor and they're dragging the false Numalor out of the room.
I thought it important that people know that clearly Lord Numalord Goldenbow is not our assassin, she says. He was unconscious. And he was attacked by the same assassin. What's going on, she says to Crowley.
Well, we need to get this blade to Madrimlian. Maybe you can check it out, see what type of poison is being used, and maybe we can track somewhat where this is coming.
All right, let me see it.
Careful, she says.
Aaron, would you mind taking Numalor's shoulder, helping him stand?
No problem.
Thank you.
Let's make sure that my would-be assassin, says Von Bin, cannot escape questioning. I would really hate it if he managed to clone himself out and commit suicide.
Yeah, haul him down to the magic cells downstairs.
Yeah. Well, that's where the guards hauled him.
Yeah.
Not too gently. He tripped on the stairs and they
Caught him against the wall repeatedly.
No, they just kept his head from hitting the floor.
Ah.
Basically let him fall down the stairs.
Yep. Yep. Nobody's in a good mood.
Well,
yeah, in the meantime, the Royal Guards have, nobody's allowed in or out. All the entrances and exits are sealed. They've cordoned people into different areas of the room and are keeping them under watch, all of them.
Yeah.
Crowley says to Von Bin, well, his brains would have been on the ceiling had it not been your wedding day.
Well, she says, it's just as well because dead men tell no tales.
That's not entirely true.
Not true.
We know an Esteban.
That is not
That's
even
neither here nor there, and it's not necessarily a fair thing to ask any given priest of death, says Von
That's
Bin.
true.
In the mood I'm in, says Celine, I would have been happy to conduct that interrogation. She says, now in the meantime, I want answers from these
Right,
people.
I need to see what kind of poison this is.
She looks mad now. You know that trope where the sweet and innocent and darling, and everyone thinks she's wonderful, suddenly turns into fucking hell on wheels? This just happened.
Bridezilla.
Well, that could be the case for Von Bin, but Celine looks very angry now.
Von Bin is not Bridezilla, but she is looking particularly cross, and she goes, and I don't have any coniferous roses yet.
I will need a piece of hide, though. Because it appears the only way to extract the poison is...
Celine cuts a piece off of one of her leather pouches and hands it to you. Will that do?
That'll do. Excuse me, I am going to find a nice quiet room, like a study.
Her face peels off, revealing the burning head of an angry ghost rider. Yeah, if looks could kill, there'd be lasers coming out right about now, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So what does he find out? In the meantime, the guards start, I don't know what the guards are going to do. Are we going to question them? Lock them all up in a barred cage and have the wedding that way with them as forced witnesses? I don't know.
No.
But no.
Xerxes wants to go ahead with the ceremony.
Yes, I think it's time.
Yep. Proceed with wedding.
The royal guards now search absolutely everybody's pockets, boots, coats,
Yep.
asses. They have no patience at this point. They're like, nope,
No.
turn it all out. That pin could be sharp. Nope. They're making a pile of suspicious
Could have
shit.
Elfbane cast on it. No
Yep.
brooches allowed.
Yes, everyone will
pierced
stand
earrings.
a minimum of 20 feet away from the wedding party. You know.
Strip.
Actually, Von Vin is so very helpful. She says, well, we can always make it a traditional Nunahi ceremony, she says to Xerxes.
It's true, we could.
And everybody could be naked.
Mm-hmm. Not that I have any objections to having you naked, but
She shrugs and says, well, it'd be a good way to keep all the guests from hiding weaponry, wouldn't it?
yeah, it's true.
It's totally up to you, says Celine, but I have no objections.
It's your wedding. It's your wedding, hon. If you want to do it Nunahi style, we will.
But, she says, we can use the assassination as an excuse.
Okay. Yes, I'm
Nobody
going to
can be
get,
pissy about it that way.
Your uncle's Nunahi, right? Yeah, of course he is.
Yeah.
Right, he can perform the ceremony.
Yep.
Yeah, so the last minute announcement is going to be a Nunahi ceremony, and all participants, bridegroom and guests will be naked. If you wish to attend, strip your clothes.
And if you don't, that's fine. We understand perfectly, and we'll join
We
you for the
understand
reception
perfectly.
afterwards in the ballroom. Here you go.
Yep. You'll wait in the ballroom and yep.
Celine has no problems about stripping.
No. Nor does Rovel.
Neither would Madrimlian once he comes back out and realizes what's going on.
None of the people that were important to be there would have a problem with Von Vin's theory, and it prevents people from hiding weaponry. And it is a bit of a thumb her nose at whoever is, trying to assassinate her just on the grounds that she's part Nunahi.
Yeah.
It's like all-round multi-purpose assassination attempt excuse.
Actually, I think that's very cool. It's kind of like, oh, you think so, do you? All right. I was willing to play the game your way, but you may now go fuck yourself, and we will do it mine.
Yep.
Yep.
I like it very much.
And Xerxes makes it clear who runs the show.
Yep. Who do you think will rule this kingdom?
Exactly. And Xerxes wouldn't give her everything she wants.
They've been working at it there, Shadow. They've been trying. Good to see you, by the way. Yeah. But Quill looks so cute in his tie.
Well, it always looks like he's wearing a tie. He has a very attractive feather pattern.
Celine has a tattoo of a celestial compass over her heart like a proper sailor. You guys didn't know that, but now you do.
Yeah.
Well, Ruvel did, but...
Ruvel knew that. The rest of you did not. Now you know.
Arian is completely covered in tribal tattoos from like his wrists to his ankles. And his golden shellback and celestial compass are worked into them as part of it.
Fantastic.
And Madrimlian has the celestial compass on one wrist and the shellback on the other.
Shellback goes on your right shoulder.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Okay, so shellback on the shoulder, celestial compass on his right wrist.
So he doesn't get lost and he can look at where. Yeah. It's supposed to be if you put it over your heart, you never get lost, right?
Yeah.
That's the.
Superstition.
Superstition behind it. Yeah. Trying to keep her left. Daz is trying to keep her left arm bent so no one sees the firelight tattoo on that arm.
Mm-hmm.
So how much damage does my void mark do to Guess? Says Magpie. Aaron waits in the ballroom with guests who don't want to be naked. Yep, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Von Vin has her share of tattoos. She's got a bunch of tribal ones and stuff. It's just not places that typically get seen with the amount of clothing that she wears most of the time on board ship because it's cooler.
Madrimlian has an anchor down his back.
Yep. Numalor takes off his clothes and joins the wedding guests. You'll be
Awesome.
surprised to note.
Mm.
So does Navarre. Navarre has a bunch of Marines tattoos, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And the wedding finally fucking proceeds, right?
That's right.
All right.
And probably that's where we should put a halftime show.
Probably it is where we should put the halftime, I imagine, because we're pretty close to 7:30 as it is.
May I ask what kind of poison it was?
Giant bee venom.
Interesting.
That is interesting. You know what's in... Okay, I have thoughts about that, but I'll save it for after halftime.
That is super interesting.
Yeah, we're like really interesting. Okay, we're gonna start our break time here. And we will be back in a few moments.
It's me.
And
My
we are
swimsuit
back.
is shiny.
All right. Sorry for the delay there, guys. The wedding actually happens. That's where we were.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm still standing there with my gun in hand. I don't care anymore.
Yep. Our sense of humor is gone at this point. We do not have a sense of humor that we are aware of.
Yeah,
We were not issued one of those.
Arian may be naked, but he's still wearing his belt and both his swords.
Yeah,
That's perfectly acceptable, though.
Madrimlian doesn't need his weapons.
Yep. I think the wedding goes off at this point without a hitch.
Yep. It's actually a beautiful ceremony, very nunny. Right? You know, it involves you taking oaths with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You're
swearing
crowned-
to join your families. And
You crowned an ivy and oak leaves as part of the ceremony.
Yep.
You're to
Works.
speak your own vows.
yep.
Ivy and oak. Okay, they're not poison ivy and poison oak, are they, Von Ben?
No, absolutely not.
Yep, Nimmelin is still injured, so she gets her cane. Sneaky stabby. Yep.
Sneaky stabby.
Daz says, following Arian's lead, Daz has her belt buckled with her silver pouch on one hip and dagger on the other. Arms are crossed and scowling around as she stands with her back to a wall. Yep. She tried so hard to make it such a festive occasion, even with all the craziness going on, and ultimately
Yep.
was not successful, so now she's like, fuck it. I'm kind of with Daz. Celine is kind of there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Madrimlian is just
assassins.
back to a wall, just leaning against it, nonchalant. Eyes roaming the crowd.
And then immediately after, the coronation takes place.
Mhm.
This one requires clothes.
Yes.
Bug suit.
It requires going to the sacred grove at Glimmerfell, the one with all the statues of the various deities.
Arian's pulling on his clothes and looks over at Madrimlian. Ouch, armor chief.
Madrimlian put on bare minimum clothes before they called this bug suit.
Yeah.
It'll pinch in places you aren't gonna like.
Aaron mingles with the guests in the ballroom, passing out spiked drinks, as in Fey wine kind of thing, May wine. I don't know. Nimmelin, or Daz says to Nimmelin, we ruined all our good booze to set a mood, and the bad guys ruined all our work. Yep. Yeah, the coronation is a pain in the ass and involves oaths.
Yes.
Stand up, sit down. Stand up, sit down. Kneel, stand up, sit down. Kneel, bow.
Face Mecca.
Face Mecca, dance. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are, oaths to Avalon. There are oaths to the gods. There are oaths to each other. There are oaths to the citizens, the subjects
Yep.
of the kingdom. There are oaths that the various noble families have to make. Anybody who bears a rune sword, who comes from Glimmerfell, must make a special oath of protection. It goes on for fucking hours.
And it's all done under a zone of truth.
That's a good idea.
The Grove probably has a zone of truth over it.
Yeah. Yet there are robes, there are crowns. But you are crowned the king and
Yep.
queen of Glimmerfell and the Talasian system.
Told you I'd make you a queen.
And so you have, my love.
Magpie. I like that.
And then the party ensues.
Yep.
They go back to the ballroom where the reception is to be held and the garden. And they are elves. Even the Elfar are letting their hair down and cutting loose.
Yep.
Yeah, Madriman will be appropriately dressed for the reception.
All right.
If anybody asks Von Vin about why they chose a Nunnehi ceremony, she says, well, initially we weren't. We were going to do a traditional Elfar one. But with this, all the security concerns, I thought we'd just alleviate the fears of our royal security and make their lives simpler.
Yep. Screw in that little dagger right there. Yep. Yeah.
In other words, if some idiot hadn't tried to kill me, you all wouldn't have had to get naked. You should be mad at them.
There's a lot of relief, actually, at the party. Plenty of toasts of congratulations. You know, if there are still assassins here, they're putting on a good show of being happy for you.
Yep.
Obviously, a really good show considering who is lurking around, who might notice any incongruities.
At some point during the gathering, Oolong approaches in court garb. Your Majesties, he says.
Your Highness.
I have been asked on behalf of the Alaran Crown to offer our continued friendship and support, he says, and congratulate you both on your ceremony and your coronation, he says.
I'd be honored to accept the friendship and support of the Illyri people, he says. We have been friends in the past, and I hope we will continue to do so in the future.
As do I, he says. As a token of our friendship, he says, I have arranged with a friend to bring a number of ships, he says.
And we appreciate that. He says, you can't know how much.
We are very grateful, says Von Vin.
He says, and now I hope we will both feel the need to be less formal, he says, and enjoy your party,
Yes.
he says.
Absolutely.
Well, certainly.
Yeah, he didn't think that Tazrak was going to let him show up if he's taken off and not go and give them stuff and be diplomatic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, but he knows how to play the game. He hobnobs. He's smooth.
Yep.
You
Not
can't help
just for assassins.
You don't know how she got here.
but
Andy?
Yeah.
yep.
Oh, her cuteness.
We're glad
she
to
comes
see
over
you,
to
your
congratulate
cuteness.
you. Congratulations, she says.
We're so glad that you managed to make it.
You're welcome. Let me along have all the fun.
Yes, she heard I was coming to the wedding, and then I was
Thank
taking
the Lord.
Andy. He says.
That's when she says.
Well, I mean, she does have to produce the epic. It is her religious dictate, after all.
Indeed, Andy is much more delightful company than I am. I'm pleased that.
Oh,
wanted to come
tish
along.
tosh, she says. When you
Perhaps
listen to him, it's fun.
And you are perfectly good company, says Fonvin. And an excellent dancer, if I remember correctly.
Was
Yes,
that an
he is.
invitation, your Majesty, he says.
Certainly.
He bows
She
and extends
smiles.
his hand.
He'll take it.
Yep, he'll dance with her.
You bet.
Yeah.
He is a good dancer. Really good. Kind of scary, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
Oolong is
anybody
an
dance with
amazing
good.
dancer.
And you don't know when he
Dancing with the
arrived.
Stars, Illyria edition.
Sorry? Sorry, dear, I keep running you over.
Dancing with the Stars, Illyria edition.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And you guys don't know how, but somehow Esteban has shown up as well.
Yep.
Good to see you, says Celine to him quietly.
Good to see you too, little sister.
I didn't think you'd miss this, she says.
Of course not.
I'm
He heads
glad
over
that
to
you-
Monman. Offers her
She
a hug.
smiles and gives him a big hug.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I
I'm
hope
glad you
are
could make it.
happy.
I
hope
am.
you're happy.
Well, okay, I'd be more happy if people weren't trying to assassinate me today, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, well. He says that probably won't happen again.
Probably
No,
not,
I don't
says
think
Oolong
so.
quietly, wherever you guys are standing.
Was that long?
Probably not, he says quietly. Not if they're smart, anyway.
Too much money.
They would be hard-pressed to come up with that amount of money again, he says, whoever they might be.
Yep.
It was a fairly extensive amount, there is no doubt. It might have even been the effort of more than one individual pooling resources.
Quite possible.
It does have the smell of a conspiracy, he says.
We have some potential leads, but I don't know if they're going to go anywhere. Cersei's dear, next time I get leave, remind me that I should visit Adonia and get some carnivorous roses.
Okay.
Ah, well, as a matter of fact, says Oolong. And he has the carnivorous roses brought in. He says, I wasn't going to, given the present situation, he says, but
Sorry.
my personal gift, he says.
Thank
I hear you
she
liked
says.
them, he says.
Yes, I do, she says. And like I keep telling people, death is not a punishment. 100 years of feeding my carnivorous roses, however.
He looks at Selnar and says quietly, I like her.
I know you would. And he goes, that's just silly.
He shrugs. Yep.
Alright, we have some discussions after the party to do.
I look forward to it, says Oolong. He says, if you do want my assistance, he says, I don't tend to like it very much when the children of my friends are threatened, he says.
I don't like my comrades being threatened either.
He nods.
And I don't, he knows I've emptied the stiletto.
Indeed, he says. Well, let's leave that for tomorrow, he says. Tonight, let us celebrate.
Right.
That's right.
So the party wages on for several hours. Does anybody have anything important that they want to do during the party?
Nope.
Well, considering this is an Elven party, but generally ends up with Mariama somewhere.
Yep.
Dance, eat, have a good time.
Yep.
I'll worry about people who are trying to kill me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yes, so Barbarossa Blackfinger challenges Evolith Oleander to a drinking contest. Why am I suddenly reminded of Gimli and yeah.
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 Legolas?
And Legolas, yeah.
Yeah.
Arian will go over to Yasma and give her a kiss and apologize, but it seems like everybody else is worrying about people killing them tomorrow, and it's his job to worry about it tonight. And he will go on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
I kiss him back. Say good luck.
Yeah, it's my job to keep you safe, says Ravel to Celine.
I suppose that's a realistic expectation given the circumstances, she says to him.
Yeah, I'm going to be patrolling this night too with Arian.
We can't assume that things are as private as we hoped, she says, meeting his eyes. So I guess I'd better let you do that.
Yep. After Madrilla has a little bit of fun with Mariama.
Kisses her.
Yeah, kisses him back.
He
Let's
kisses
hope
her and says,
you have a nice quiet night, she says.
I do have duties to attend. Since you are the, I believe it was niece of Selnar?
Something like that.
And your cousins were attacked. It means you could be threatened as well, so I'm going to be ensuring
I
safety.
could be threatened as well.
Yes.
Okay. Good excuse. Sure.
Oh!
Shots fired!
Oh, my sweet lady. It's not that I want
You think
to.
I need your protection?
No.
Do you
don't think
forget
you
I
need
am
my
a slua?
I'm sorry, I missed that?
Did you forget I am a slua?
No, I have not forgotten that.
Protect your friends. She says, I don't need your protection, my friend man. That's why I'm with you. And if I needed your protection, I wouldn't be with you. It wouldn't be an equal relationship.
That's fair. Yeah, kisses her again.
Yes. Yeah. She says, I'm going to go hang out with Celine and Yasma and Bonvin. She says,
Yes, she is, says Celine, coming in and seizing her hand, and we're going to get drunk. Come on, she says.
that sounds good, she says. She kisses Madriman again. She says, I love you. Don't treat me like I'm less than you.
You're not less than me, and I wasn't trying to treat you that way.
I know. That's why you're warning. She kisses him again.
Yep. He kisses her back.
All right, you guys are adorable. Let Madrimlian go to work. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Go protect everybody else, she says.
Right.
Use your psychic powers for that.
Yeah, don't go on patrol. Lurk around, she says. And if you sense anybody reaching out towards us or somebody disappearing off the radar or something, or disappearing off the air sense or something, let us know, she says.
Avalana.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, come on.
Yeah. She says,
How many remove poison do you got prepared, Celine? Von Vin says to Celine.
Some, she says. Some.
the girls get
All right.
loaded.
Just making sure that if shit happens, you can slipper us up quick.
If I can remember how to cast the incantation, yes.
Don't worry, says Mariama. I can cast the incantations even drunk.
Okay, so we're good, she says. Pour
Right.
the wine, she says.
That's right.
Speaking
First-
of sense poison, other than the alcohol and the bee venom, is there any? And stuff I'm carrying. Is there any other poisons?
What?
I have sense poison as a
Sonic.
Yep.
Talent?
Yep.
Yeah, no, nothing in your vicinity. I mean, aside from the obvious things, cinnamon. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, share banana brandy with Andy because she'd love that.
Oh yeah, she loves it. She's hanging out with you guys. Mariama breaks out some mushroom wine.
Oh, I've never
Awesome.
tried mushroom wine. This sounds delicious.
She's from Belstira. She says it's old. It's like a couple hundred years old. I took it from my uncle's, your dad's cellar,
That's great, she says.
just for a special occasion like this. She says
Well,
it's a
wonderful.
lot like tequila. She says you've had tequila.
I don't believe I have, she says.
Oh, well, it's a different sort of drunk. You'll like it.
All right.
Okay.
Fiddly and fun.
That sounds great. Like strawberry wine.
Smooth as strawberry wine. Says Andy.
Yep, margarita time, baby! Yep.
And there is no shortage of sweets here for our candy friend.
Yeah.
Von Ben.
Clothes falling off again alert. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
After a while, Celine is dancing on the table half naked, I'm sure.
Yeah. You guys are having a great time.
Yep,
Jordan's hanging out with you guys too.
absolutely. This will be our little kind of private thing now.
Girls'
you know,
night.
girls' night.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Voidchasers and the distinguished guests like, you know, Andy and Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't exclude Arian's grandmother.
No.
No, she's not excluded at all. She's quite welcome. And
No, she's absolutely into this. Oh, absolutely. She'll have a few drinks with you kids.
Yep.
Talk old
Tequila
times.
Tequila makes their clothes fall off.
Yeah.
yeah, she starts telling ribald stories of her youth.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, sneaking off with various lordlings, you know.
Yeah.
Things that would probably scandalize Arian. That's great.
There was this time when her and Cersei's dad.
Yup. Nimlin now goes in the corner because she's not a party person. Yep. Aaron stops making tea long enough to get some whiskey and cider.
Yeah. Yeah, so a party isn't had.
And great booze is up.
Yep. You drink mushroom wine and giggle like you're all on mushrooms.
Because you are!
Because you are.
Oh, those are those mushrooms, says Celine when she starts seeing tracers. Okay.
Oh, these are the fun ones, says Fonvin.
These are the fun ones. It's been a while, she says. Oh, do I ever need to lighten up like this? Oh my gods, she says.
Don't we all, says Mariama.
How did I end up in charge of the Talesian system fleet? Please somebody explain this to me.
Well, says Mariama, you impressed your dad.
I was gonna say, you want the short version or the long version? She giggles and then she says, that doesn't matter, it's the same in both cases, nepotism.
I had an idea, she says. I've been thinking about it, but I'm not sure how to make it happen.
All right.
Okay, here's the thing, right? You can teleport to the range of your sight, right?
Hmm?
You seen that great big telescope in the lunar tower?
Oh, hey. Yeah.
Right? She says the only thing is, how do we get enough people to teleport there to cause enough damage? We could get somebody on the deck of every one of those damn ships, she says, but what do they do when they get there? We can't expect one lone mage to go and die, she says.
She goes, you have to be able to know where you're teleporting to, says Mariana. Right? So you can bring others with you.
Right.
Right? She says, I could bring about 20 people along with me, but I'm a little bit of an exception. She says,
What is the average ability of our mages, our war
we
mages?
could probably
She
get
says.
10 people.
How can we make sure that 10 people could take out the entire crew of a ship? We don't have enough bug suits, she says. 10 people in bug suits could do that, she says.
What about 10 people carrying lots of explosives?
Then we're
Yeah, that
sending
would
them
be
to their deaths,
dangerous.
she says.
No, you need like a druid mage combo, somebody who can lock down the whole deck at once.
That has potential, she says.
Because between me and you and Madrimlian, all right, who are all, spellcasters of different stripes, we can lock a pretty hefty size ship deck down, all in one pop.
I'm sorry. I hate to drag business into it. It's just that I've been thinking about it, right? She says. The thing is, she says, my mom's going to be here soon with the Draconia fleet. And they're going to smash themselves to flinders against the rocks that are that fleet. Because they have the defense advantage, she says.
What if we had some dryads?
Is that a possibility, she says?
Dryad?
We'd have to get... Yeah. Unless they're working at it, you see those girls naked and you go blind.
Nymphs, you mean?
Or nymphs, yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the nymphs are the name for
Possible.
sea elves in this universe? So there's probably a better name.
Yeah.
Well, she'd use the right one.
Yeah.
Nymphoi?
That does not sound right.
Yeah.
Regardless, she says, if we could figure out something that would do something like that, lock everybody down or massive damage all at once, she says, we could take that fleet. We'd have to time it very precisely. We'd have to have a team ready to go. Bam, through the telescope. Another one, bam.
Pass goes to the prow and right at the barricade.
It's funny. Anyway, if you come up with anything, let me know, she says.
It will percolate.
Yep.
It's too bad we just couldn't teleport like a mage to near the ship. Or actually, if we just teleported a bug suit guy near the ships, while they're invisible, they could just whip over there, slap some charges down, and eventually make their way back.
The problem is we don't have enough bug suits to make that a feasible attack. We could do that and take out significant people. If we wanted to take out the command, we probably could do that. She says, if we did that at the right time, that's a good idea. She says if we did that at the right time when the Draconia fleet attacked, we might create enough chaos that they would be able to overwhelm the Fomorian fleet. She says it's better than any idea I've had so far, so...
Well, it'd certainly even our odds some.
Yeah.
It's not perfect by any means.
Yeah, she says. But it's better than what we've had, she says. It's worth a try.
Better than a kick in the teeth, that's for sure.
We will need all hands on deck for that. Anyone with a bug suit should fly, she says.
No arguments. And who knows, maybe by morning, Arian will have some brilliant tactical idea that we did not think of because we are drunk as fucking skunks.
This is true. I should not be making strategic or tactical plans while I am hammered. Okay, we'll talk about this tomorrow. Cheers! And the party wages on into the night.
Yeah.
Eventually, I assume, Xerxes and Von Vin disappear into their private quarters.
Absolutely.
Celine, having the subtlety of a goat, takes one of those fertility potions, puts it in Xerxes' hands, takes another one and puts it in Von Vin's hands, and says, "A toast to the new heir," she says.
He laughs and drinks it.
Yeah, she will too, bottoms up.
Yeah.
She
Never mind the fact that Arian and his grandmother had every bit of food and drink in their suite laced with that shit.
And she finds out she's pregnant with triplets.
Triplets!
This might be a thing.
It could be, yep.
It could be. All right. And off they go, and everybody cheers. Yay!
Yeah.
Now we can relax.
Note, we're gonna post a guard outside that room. We're gonna post a guard outside that fucking window, says Celine.
Yeah, I got my bug suit, says.
That's
Ravel, I'll be outside the
exactly
window.
what I mean. Thank you, she says, gives him a kiss. I love you. Did I ever tell you that?
A couple times in the past. Says, yeah, I've heard it before.
Still true.
Oh, I love
she
you
says.
too, by the way.
It's good to know, she says. All right, go on with you. Go protect our monarchs, she says.
Okay.
Swats him on the butt. Psh.
Bang.
What's
In
that?
his armor.
Krang. Yeah, she... Oh, ow, I shouldn't have done that, she says. I forgot you were wearing
No,
armor.
probably
God
not.
damn it. Heal.
Giggle, giggle, heel, roll your miscast.
Yup.
And Madrummy will take the other. If Ruvel takes one, Madrummy will take the other.
At some point, the rest of the girls are collected, and the ones who are at this little private party, right, who are hammered, are collected by Captain Evil, or, not Captain, he's not Captain yet, Sergeant Major Evolith, Oleander, and, probably Oolong, and are kind of herded into a single room. With, you know, bunk beds, which nobody minds because we're all used to barracks and ship quarters.
Yep.
And Arian's grandma's like, "Ooh, bunk beds. Haven't seen them since I was a girl." Dunk.
Woohoo!
Yep. All right. Do the guys have any trouble on their patrols?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
No, I'm
They
sure
have a
that
quiet night.
there were several threats that just quietly disappeared.
right. So are dice being rolled, or is this like a 100% guarantee with the amount of fertility potions they've drunk?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's pretty much guaranteed. The only question is it triplets? Because they've been fertility potioned out the yin yang.
Well, it just happens when Xerxes comes at night that he just showers her. 3 gallons.
And now that becomes adult content right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my buddy.
There is a reason why this is a rated
Mature
mature
channel.
channel. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor kitty.
Oh, is he still puking and trying to? Poor kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ash has had
Somebody
a hairball.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he's having real
Keeps
trouble with
swallowing.
it.
He
Yeah.
doesn't want to throw it up because he doesn't want anyone to see him sick.
Get some oil in him. That'll help.
Oh, we bought some stuff
He got
today.
hairball
It's
stuff.
a combination of
Okay.
petroleum jelly, vegetable oil, and glycerin with flavoring. I'm sure it will do the job.
Oh yeah, that will.
Yeah.
Any kind of oil really will. Honestly.
Yep. I tried butter, but I couldn't get him to eat enough of it, so. Yep.
Just some castor oil on the back of his tongue. You would have puked it up real quick.
Good point. All right.
Bacon grease is really easy to get them to eat, and it works as well.
Get smeared on their paws. They'll lick it off eventually.
Yeah.
No, he just tracked it to the house.
Oh, no, he did lick it off eventually, but first he tracked all the butter through the house, yes. All right.
Kind of passel of brats are they having?
Well, there might be a pretty good chance of that, actually. I don't know. What the hell would we roll for that?
I think it's up to Vaughn then.
Yeah, it's only fair, actually. If you would like it to be randomized as a player, that is totally up to you. But this is your character. We do not force pregnancies upon our players' characters.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
the
I
numbers
already
either. Yeah.
said it was cool, and frankly, whatever's gonna fit story best for you.
It actually
They have a
doesn't
lot
really
of
matter.
kids.
Canonically, they have a lot of kids, but I don't think I'm specific. At least
No.
not so far.
All right, randomize it then.
All right.
If you don't need to have something for canon,
What are the normal
And-
odds of twins?
Roll a D100.
25%.
Pardon?
25%.
Really? Among
Yeah.
elves? That's a lot
Well,
more.
among humans.
Yeah, among
Among
elves.
humans. I don't know.
Because you said they're almost bloody unheard of.
Right. But
Um,
these wouldn't necessarily be twin elves. They'd be fraternal. Fraternal twin elves happen. It's paternal twin elves that don't happen.
Blake sounded like he had a suggestion of some kind
Oh,
as well.
Yeah, 1 to 100 kids. Roll 100.
Yeah, no.
I'd say roll a d4.
Okay, I have some thoughts. Okay.
Why don't you give her an increased chance of twins because of all the potions, say like a 25%.
Right.
And if you roll twins, roll again and give her like a 5% chance of having triplets.
Yep.
that's both the odds.
All right,
that
let's
sounds
do
reasonable
that.
to me.
Okay. All right. Yes. So nobody disturbs them the next day either.
Nope.
I'm sure they don't.
Celine hauls her groggy ass out of bed, casts a neutralized poison on herself, gets a lot of coffee,
Yep.
and then volunteers to spell off Ruavel.
Yeah, okay. It's been quiet all night, he says. Well, except in there, he says.
See, Taz, I see everything, even Beyonce.
Well, once morning comes and, things return to normal somewhat,
Yep.
Arian will go grab a priest somewhere and get a remove fatigue placed on himself. And he will grab his elite squad of invisible marines and we'll go cut out another ship for a wedding present.
There you go.
That's a perfectly acceptable traditional Nanahi wedding present. The heads of your enemies on a stick.
Yep. Yeah, you guys want to roll, or you guys just want to say you cut out another ship? The last one went fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can just.
Or is Chris in the mood to roll some dice and get some combat happening?
No, we only have a half an hour left.
Right.
But I would point out that for a wedding gift for his king and his new queen and his girlfriend's sister, he would probably go big. So we'd probably be looking for something big to cut out. So maybe that's something we do at the beginning of next session.
That sounds like a good time, actually. I've got lots of things that I do want to have happen all at once, but we do only have half an hour left.
Yeah.
So,
You want to cut it here?
I'm tempted to say so, even though it is early.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
because
okay with that.
I've got, like, the Draconia fleet is due to arrive, right? That's one thing, right? And how you guys are going to react to that could get, like, really big really quick. It also feels like a very natural place to put it, and this would work very well with Arian's plans to cut out something big, which should be dice rolled for sure. And it might work in with Celine's plans to try to coordinate a large-scale assault on at least the command ships with teleport.
Yep.
So that could be one big fight fest. And I am reluctant to start it with half an hour left. What do you guys
Let's
think?
put it up then.
Sorry? I
Go ahead,
heard...
Aaron.
I said, well, let's put it up then.
Siobhan, you were saying?
I was just saying Madrona stays on point until he's relieved.
And check the chat. Magpie has something that she's doing with the drunken message to Sonaris.
Okay. Yeah, Sonaris gets a drunken message from Nimmelin. Okay. And that's a valid question we should discuss. Does the Avalonian Imperial Navy have regulations against serving aboard ship when pregnant due to radiation hazards? There are probably regulations about the kind of duty you can take, right? In general, the field created by the spin dizzy or starfaring engine provides protection from most spacefaring radiation. However, things like black holes or the close corona of a sun might be a bigger hazard,
Yeah.
right? And if she were going on a boarding party, a talisman would protect her less effectively than the ships would because the field is bigger, right? Remember I said it basically kind of makes a Faraday cage, right? But her bug suit, however, should provide as efficient of protection as the ship's own starfaring engine. So basically, we should not be going to fuck with any black holes.
Yeah, but the bugs would only protect up until a certain trimester.
Why?
Why? It's just to fit. It's magical.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
She'd just have this big bulgy tummy out the front of her fucking bug suit.
That's right.
Okay.
Armored.
I don't think we realized it adjusts itself to fit because it had to be fitted.
Nah. They did, and then we got them enchanted.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
But
If
yes,
it were
there-
a standard bug suit, it wouldn't fit still.
yeah,
Yeah.
But it's not.
there will
No.
be restrictions on types of duty that she should take, right? Obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But common sense, basically.
I'm just going to point out, even in combat, Von Vin has not got smacked once
Yeah.
since she started wearing
Yeah.
a bug suit.
Exactly, right? She would be expected to do the stuff that she's been doing anyway, which is, hold back, let the other Marines take point, right? Provide, support and healing, right? Which is what she's been doing. So,
Yeah.
That's fine. I just didn't know how the radiation hazard worked exactly. And,
yeah, fair
you know,
enough.
while she may be having 3 kids, it'd be bad if they had 6 heads between them.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing. A bad thing. Yep. Okay, so apparently, some way halfway through the night, Nimmelin sends a message that's drunk to Selnar. It says, "Selnaris, please tell Daz I do not have bedtimes." Because Nimmelin is fucking pasted, apparently.
Yeah. Sonar will contact Daz. What's going on?
Yeah, Nimmelin is very drunk, explains Daz.
Put her to bed.
It's the opposite of what she wanted from that.
Yup. I'm trying, she says. Yup.
Yeah, but now she can say that, His Imperial Highness said to put her to bed.
God damn it! Yep.
Madrimlin does send a message to Selnars as well and asks for Mariama's father's name.
Oh.
Okay, since to what end?
Do I have to
Why
spell
do you
it
want
out
to
for you,
know?
Your Imperial Majesty?
Why do you want to know? He's dead.
Oh. Because I was going to ask his permission to ask her to marry me.
He smiles. He says, Mariama makes her own choices in those things. Remember, she's a Slua. They are matriarchal. Mostly.
And that was a
Okay.
piece of information that nobody was told till just now.
Right.
Yep. Then I guess I need to talk with her mother.
Her mother is gone long. Since Okay, I'll be honest. Your mother never existed. She's a clone of her father.
Oh. Okay.
Her father is very gay. Married to one of my best friends.
Ah.
He was my brother. They wanted a child. We created one.
All right.
He says, if you want to marry her, you have my blessing. He says, but it doesn't matter because without hers, it doesn't make any difference.
No, it doesn't. Even if I had her parents' blessing, I still need hers.
Yeah. I'm her guardian, so. You have my blessing, Wintermist, to ask her to marry you.
Thank you, sir. Now I've got a job to do to protect your daughter.
Well, I appreciate that loyalty.
Oolong says they're not going to try again tonight, he says. If they were, we'd have seen it by now. However, part of the reason why they're not trying again tonight is because you are being diligent. So please go ahead and continue to be diligent and provide them a night of peace, he says.
I will.
The chat's hilarious. I am going to read this just because it's great. Don't worry, I got rope, says Daz in response to the I'm making an effort to put Nimble into bed. Erin is helping. I'll get her legs, Sergeant. Daz proceeds to tie Nimblin up and stuffs her into her bedroll on the space skid. Arian wanders by. Good job, Color Sergeant. Carry on. Thanks, sir. Fucking hilarious. That's now canon. Just saying.
Yeah.
All right, gang. I think that's a good place to put this up while everybody's
Yeah.
still in a good mood and before we get into any big fights. Next week? Okay. Next week. Next week is my birthday.
Yeah.
We will be gaming on the 6th. That is exactly a week from now, is it not? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
So, earlier in the day, we will be having a 4-hour stream that will be Tell Me a Story. Basically, I'm asking writers in the community to come and read us about 15 to 20 minutes of their various work. We're going to start at 11 a.m. Pacific, the time I normally start Sable's World Forge, and we are going to carry on. I estimate we've got about 4 hours worth of material that is planned to be read. So far, writers that are going to be appearing are... Just remember where it is. There we go. This is not in any particular order, by the way. E. Christopher Clark, that's ECC Books. Natalia Books.
ICC Dead People.
Yep, ICC Dead People, for those of you who were involved in the Game of Tomes. Usurper Kings, Dazzlecat, Author Goddess, Coffee Quills, Shy Red Fox, Eli Quake, Scarred Sapphic and Sexy, and Sailing Ocelot. So, we are going to hear something from each of them. The requirement was that you had to have something published that I could send people to with a link, right? So some people have fan fiction, some people have published novels, some people are published authors on Kindle Vella, like Dazzlecat, right? And they're all going to come read us a bit of their stuff, and I'm going to enjoy it. There will be no reading from me that day. I want other people to tell me a story, and hopefully the community will discover writers that they love. We will be gaming that night. There will be a Hobbit birthday. I don't know what I'm giving away yet, but there will be something. and we're going to have a big ass fight, and it's going to be fun. So I hope you'll join us. All right. Anybody got any commentary before we call this?
No.
Well, I'll be streaming Tuesday night right after Dan actually writes.
Yeah, feel free to promote your stuff. Drop your links in the chat. We have other streamers here. Rowan has her own channel now.
That's right. And I stream Mondays. I have moved my stream to in the afternoon because I noticed I was just getting lots of people drop in about the same time that I was quitting. So
makes sense.
I changed my time to go from noon to like 3.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. And that's what time zone?
MST.
Okay, and there's Siobhan's URL for her channel as well. And don't forget, coming soon, the Stalwart Saga. We are still hammering out the details of exactly when that will begin, but soon. Characters are made.
TM.
Yes.
Yes, soon TM, exactly. Yes, Eli Quake streams writing and world building and occasionally music. Oh, and we have images here. So.
Yeah, I very nicely. We even have headshots of everybody at this point.
Perfect. Yeah, so we're getting closer to being ready to go. Also, the nerd show that we're planning on doing, which I'm probably just going to call Sable's Nerd Show, is probably going to be happening every second Monday night, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. 1 a.m. 2 a.m. UTC in the UK, and brain 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Time on Monday morning. And yeah, that's a show for subscribers who will get to see it live. Then it will be uploaded to YouTube and made available to our patrons who pay for video access. And then a month after it airs, it will be made public on YouTube. Everybody will get to see it. It's just that you get to see it first if you're a subscriber, because the subscribers... Sable's Nerd Forge? That's a great... I just might run with that. That's hilarious there, Siobhan. I like that a lot. But yeah, and basically the premise is it's going to be me and Jamie, and we're going to be talking nerd stuff. There's going to be, the layout will vary depending on the show, but we're planning for about 1.5, perhaps 2 hours. It will, we'll cover things like classic science fiction books or stories, cool science news, stuff about, role-playing games, alternate history, speculations, and occasionally there will be the Nerd Rage segment where we will complain about something and get on a soapbox. Yeah, that's a fact. We can go longer than 2 hours chatting about nerd stuff, but yeah, lots of things coming up on the channel, in other words. In the meantime, thank you for joining us tonight, everyone. I'm sorry that, we didn't get into a big fight tonight, but we'll see you next week. And be prepared for the flinging of dice. Nerd Dwarf. I am really tempted. I might even filk that, starting song. It's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere.
I'm all alone, more or less.
All right. And if you guys have thoughts on someone to raid, let me know. Otherwise, I will probably raid Coffee because I know they're up. But if you guys, you know what? We've got a few minutes. What are some of the gaming channels we never get to raid because they're always just ending? Penny for a Tale, for example, right? Maybe we'll raid them after the closing credits.
I mean, Tal is up right now as well for writers, if you wanted to do that.
Okay.
Dead Aussie Gamer is up.
Oh, Dead Aussie Gamer. There might be a good one.
Jan Storyteller.
Oh, okay, yeah. How I never get the. Is it J3N JN3?
JN3.
JN3. Okay, cool.
The SLM's up. We haven't rated him in a long time.
Oh no, I rated him recently. Actually, he went
Did
back
you?
up. Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Ah, I missed that.
Yeah. I think I might raid Dead Aussie Gamer because I never get the chance to. So let's run the closing credits and we'll do that. Have a good time zone, everyone. Monday is our day off. Aaron will be back on Tuesday with Ask an Old GM at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. UTC, and in the UK, and 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday for those of you in Australian Eastern Time. I will be back on Tuesday evening with Diane Actually Writes. Have a good one, guys.